Hello, Mainsa. It's Christy in Calgary over here, and today I'm going to help answer the deep, dark questions that you have about immigration that all the other vloggers are too smart to answer. Today's question: Why? Why are you asking me this? You do know I'm going to get some serious crazies across the internet who are going to be like, I need to write a comment because I'm angry because you have sent me these questions. The question is, can I have a gun in Canada and can I hunt? Caveat, I'm going to put this out here. I'm not a gun aficionado. I grew up in South Africa. I shot my dad's rifle a few times in the bush. So I am not going to use the correct terminology. I'm just waiting for your angry comments to come across the internet. Just waiting for them. But I have done a little bit of research, and hopefully I can provide you a little bit of context for yes or no, you may or may not have a gun in Canada. I think some of this question stems from the fact that sometimes people outside of North America put Canada and US in the same bucket when it comes to their gun laws, and I think there's a huge narrative out there that Americans are being stripped of their gun rights. Complete side note, there's this incredible NPR podcast called No Compromise. It won the Pulitzer Prize. It is all about how there's this new movement on new media that is fracturing our sense of citizenship and community, and you really should take a listen to it if you want to listen to something fascinating. Just listen to something for 8 hours, because that's kind of what I did. All that to say, you cannot make a direct correlation between Canadian laws and US laws. They are vastly different. And no surprise there whatsoever, Canada's laws are way more restricted. And, some people call that a healthy system of checks and balances. But if you have immigrated to Canada and gone through the whole rigmarole of getting here as a permanent resident, you're more than likely probably qualified to have a gun in the long term. You just have to do a few things to be able to get that. Here are some of the parameters for having a gun. Usually be an adult over the age of 18. Kids from the age of 12 to 17 get a minor's license to borrow a non-restricted rifle or shotgun for activities like hunting or target shooting. But before you can buy a gun as an individual, you need to take a mandatory 1-day safety course, 2 days if it's a restricted weapon, and there are even more restrictions for restricted guns, because that is how the English language works. Certain guns are restricted guns. For those guns, you need to obtain a possession and acquisition license, as well as a restricted firearms license. Once you have the documentation, you can go down to the store and purchase the restricted firearm. You can buy it, but there is a waiting period for you to get that gun, and you still need to be approved to get that gun. They will go through a detailed background check, and after that check, you might still be turned down, even if you did all the other things. They can turn you down, and then it could be for whatever reason. Also, just a heads up, retailers in Canada, by law, have to keep a record of your gun sale for at least 20 years. So people know that you have purchased a gun. There are still restrictions around the guns, meaning where you can shoot them, the shooting range, and how much ammunition you can have with you, because you can't just do like a 2-hour stop at Timmy's with guns in your boot/trunk, and if someone comes along and steals it, that gun and ammunition is out there on the road. So logically, there's a good reason for not having you just have a gun wherever you want. All this speaks to the general Canadian sense of balancing the good for society along with respecting people's individual privileges. And I use the word privilege specifically because in the US, gun rights are a right. In Canada, there are no laws to protect the gun owner. It's not written in laws. You just don't have those rights. You might think, oh, it's terrible. But then if you look again at the social outcomes, there's a lot less gun violence in Canada, a lot less mass shootings, and a lot less death by guns. Not to say that you can't hunt. I know why you South Africans ask this question. You want to know, can I make delicious, delicious biltong by an animal that I killed by my own gun? And the answer is, yes, you can, but with the right licensing. Hunting is a provincially mandated activity, so you have to apply to the province's jurisdiction so that you can get a hunting license. To purchase a hunting license, you need to complete a provincial or territorial hunter safety and education course. It's also going to cost you for that license, and you have to keep it with you on your persons at all times. All right. If you like these types of rapid fire questions about immigration, give my channel a subscription and put your question down below about what you want to know about immigration and you felt just a little timid to ask, because I will answer it for you, my darling. Tot volgende keer!